Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to video 4 in our series of tips and tricks for going to Japan. I'm pretty sure this is the 4th video. With the Before You Go, we had tips for Tokyo, we had Akihabara, and now we're on the 4th video, episode 4, A New Hope, Shinjuku. So like I had said in my previous video, I was going to just do one big Tokyo video, and then I realized, wow, this is too big of a script. I don't want like 2-hour-long videos because those get like 2 minutes worth of views, and that really messes up the algorithm. So I'm breaking them down to smaller videos. And this week's video, and I apologize for it being late. As you can see, I have my baseball shirt on. It is baseball season, and we've had tryouts this week, and it has been a busy week for me between day job, tech, coaching baseball, and then, putting up and editing videos. So bear with me. Tryouts are almost over, and I will have a more normal schedule. I won't have to be having nightly meetings about player progression and things like that. So, but here we are, episode 4. This one is kind of cool places to check out in Shinjuku video, much like the Akihabara. I'm going to give you like some places that I enjoy going there. And again, when I went to these places, I never thought I'd make a travel video, so my memory's kind of foggy. I do remember a lot of the things I've done, but like names of specific restaurants and things like that, I do apologize. I will not have those for you. But that's also part of the fun of going to places like Shinjuku, Akihabara, Shibuya, is discovering things on your own. Like I've eaten at some small ramen, sushi, gyudon places that I've never heard of, I've never seen in a travel video, and I've watched a ton of travel videos before my trips to Japan. And that's just part of the fun, just discovering these little hidden gems that are like 500 yen, 800 yen for dinner, and they're delicious. So I do want to encourage a lot of exploring when you go. Like, use some of these tips and tricks and places to go, but be an urban adventurer, be urban Indiana Jones, and discover new and forbidden lands. So, but let's get into the meat of the video. Probably the best known place in Shinjuku is Kobokicho. That's the red light district. Everyone knows it because of the big red gate, the Ichiban Gai gate. That's the big red gate everyone's seen in every picture of anything in Shinjuku. If you've seen pictures of Shinjuku, you've seen the gate. It's lit up. It looks cool. I think I have so many pictures. I take a picture of that gate every time I walk by it. Not just every time I go to Japan, but if I'm just walking by Kobokicho, like, oh, there's the gate. Click. Kind of thing like that. So it's very iconic. Also, it's very well known for the Hotel Gracie, the Toho Cinema, the giant Godzilla head that you can see over the Hotel Gracie, right next to Toho Cinema. Of course, that's another thing you see since I think like 2015, whenever it was built. It's fairly new. Anybody who goes to Shinjuku snaps a picture of that bad boy. I have more pictures of that Godzilla head than I think of anything in Japan. It's really cool to visit. I've been up there with my boys a few times. I love getting pictures with them in front of it because we all love Godzilla in this family, especially Bowie. Bowie was so ecstatic to see it was so fun. He was like scared at first. He thought it was legit real Godzilla. So that was kind of fun. But then when it was like, no, it's a statue, he took pictures in front of it. He had a blast, and he always talked. Even though he's only 4 and he was 2.5 when we went, he always talks about that Godzilla. He never stops talking about it. It's the funniest thing. So obviously, the 2 best known things. And I'll talk about the Godzilla statue in a few minutes. The gate is pretty self-explanatory. But also, there is the famous Geigo Red arcade there. There's one in Akihabara. They were formerly the Sega arcades. Kind of, it's the same, but because it doesn't have the big Sega logo, and I think I mentioned this in my Akihabara video, it just feels different. Because I didn't know what Geigo was until COVID, when they bought the buildings from Sega, but little kid Josh knew what Sega was. He knew Sega and Sega. Sorry, my voice is raspy. I think I have a cold. All this coaching in the rain and stuff like that. But awesome to check out. Like, still has all the arcades, the UFO machines. Fantastic place to go. So don't let the name change discourage you. And then also in Shinjuku, you have the Namco Tokyo building. That is brand new. When I went in 2023, I think it just recently opened. I don't even think it was a year old at the time, but it's really cool because it's like part arcade, part nightclub, part bar, part competitive collectible card game arena. It is a sight to see. They've got this in the bar nightclub area. They've got this giant LED screen with a robot DJ just cranking out the tunes. Really, really cool place to check out. And again, I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. There's also plenty of restaurants to check out, like just anywhere you walk in Kobokicho, you'll see a ton of restaurants. There's the famous Golden Guy, and there's also the infamous Robot Bar. That is a tourist trap. It's like $80 just to get in. I've never been, but I've heard the food's not very good. You pay to see these fake robots dancing about, and if you've seen a video of it, I think that'll do. It's one of those things that I don't think you need to see in person. And then, of course, there's also plenty of maid cafes in the red light district. I've never personally been to one. If that's your thing, that's your thing. From what I understand, they're a huge waste of money. So if you want to go. No judgments here, but just be aware there's better things you can spend your money on in Tokyo than the maid cafes. However, unlike Akihabara, I do have a warning for you. You need to be wary of certain bars in this area. They're pretty infamous for bait and switching. They will promise like low prices on drinks or all you can drink for dirt cheap prices. But then they end up scamming you. Either like when that timer goes off and you continue to drink, the drinks will go from like 100 yen to 4,000 yen a drink. Or they just straight up rip you off and steal your credit card, kind of thing like that. These bars are allegedly run by Yakuza. There has been a crackdown lately, but obviously like any kind of crime, there's no way you're going to get 100% of the criminals there. So just be wary of that. Chris Broad, and I'll link it in the description below. He did, I gotta find it too, it's an old video. He did, I can't remember if he did a full video about it or if it was just part of a longer video that he did. But he does go into more detail about this scam. Generally speaking though, these bars will have a foreigner outside trying to convince you to come in with the promise of lots of booze for little money. So if you kind of see that, it's not a guarantee that it's one of those scam bars, but generally speaking, that's one of the operandi of these scam bars, or just like pretty ladies who speak fairly good English trying to get you to come in. Generally speaking, those are the bars that will scam you. I'd steer clear of that. Honestly, if you're going to drink in Kobokicho, I would just go over to the Golden Guy. It's a fantastic experience to drink in these little bars in Japan, and generally speaking, you will make friends at Kobokichos. They're great. So I would go there instead of any bar that's in Kobokicho. And I don't want to paint a bad picture of Shinjuku or Tokyo as a whole. Japan is probably the safest first world country in the modern era. There's virtually no violent crime there. But, you know, there's always a few bad apples in a bunch that spoil things. So I just want you to be aware of these kind of bars if you're going to Japan for your first time and you haven't heard of them, because I don't want you getting scammed. But overall, like, I've been 4 times, and the first time I went, I didn't even know about these bars. And it was kind of one of those things when I passed by them and they were offering me these things, just something, my spidey sense went off and said, that's too good to be true. Don't fall for that. And me and my friends, we just didn't go in. We went drinking elsewhere, kind of thing. So just be wary about that. I mean, if it smells too good to be true, it probably is. Like, and plus you can go to many other nicer establishments for inexpensive drinks. So just wanted you to be wary of that. Unlike the bars, there are plenty of restaurants in Kobokicho that are perfectly safe to go to. I did mention the robot bar, whatever the heck it's called. Don't go there, though. It's expensive. Now, I looked. There was this great katsu place that was like right in the heart of Kobokicho that I went to on my second trip to Japan. It was my son and my friend Nelson. We were all going together, and we were starving. And we were staying like in Shinjuku, so we kind of went to the hotel, dropped our bags off. We went right back into the heart of Kobokicho, and we found this beautiful, beautiful katsu place. Just a small like mom and pop shop. Unfortunately, it was COVIDed. Like it like shut down during COVID. I guess it couldn't keep up which is unfortunate because it was one of the best. Like I would have recommended that in my last trip there. I went looking for it, could not find it, and then like it was one of those just in case I was off with my. I got pretty good sense of direction in Shibuya and Shinjuku. I've been there so many times, like I know where things are at. Like even when it's been a couple years, I was like maybe I was wrong, and I just kind of went on Google Maps yesterday, and I spent like an hour looking at every katsu place on Google Maps, and unfortunately, it was not one of them. So my fears were did come true. It is gone, and that would have been a recommendation. But in that looking right around Hotel Gracie, the Godzilla statue, there are a lot of katsu places, and they all had like 4 stars and up, and they all looked delicious. So if you are hankering for some katsu, apparently Shinjuku's the place to go. They had a ton of those places to go, so definitely check that out. There's Ichiran Ramen, the most popular ramen in Japan, and I would then say the world kind of thing, because they do have a couple Ichirans in the U.S. It's pretty good ramen. You can customize, you can customize your ramen, everything. You can add extra, take away the tenderness of your noodles. It's a great experience. I prefer those little hole in the wall ramen places, but everybody I've ever traveled with Japan, they prefer Ichiran, so it's really good. Also, another thing I kind of did there, I didn't really, with the exception of the katsu place, I didn't really like eat meals in Shinjuku. I mostly snacked there. Well, I should say Kobokicho. I mostly snacked there. There is a wonderful dessert crepes shop. It is right by Hotel Gracie, Toho Cinema. Can't miss it. They got the big display out there. I want to say if you're looking at the hotel, it's to the left of the hotel. Delicious crepe place. Like they put the ice cream, the whipped cream, the fresh fruit, and everything in there. It's so good. And then also right by the Toho Cinema is a Japanese Krispy Kreme. I definitely recommend this because if you just want a quick sweet treat, donuts, they're inexpensive, and plus they do have their own unique flavors to Japan. And if there's some sort of festival or national holiday around the time that you're there, they're going to have some sort of unique flavor to that festival or that holiday. So those are always kind of cool to check out. Generally, I'm in the springtime. They have the Sakura donuts, and it's usually kind of like a sweet cherry kind of donut, and it's delicious. Definitely worth checking out. As far as drinks go, I mentioned the Golden Guy. Just check that place out. I think as far as like drinking in Japan goes, there's no more authentic experience than drinking at a Golden Guy. But also, if you want some really like cool atmosphere, go to the Namco Tokyo. The bar there's got a bunch of unique cocktails, and not, for like a themed area, they're not ridiculously priced. So you can go, have a couple drinks, play some arcades, chill out in the bar area, which has the dance floor and the robot DJ and the LED screen. Last time I was there, my buddy Keenan, my wife Alyssa, and we tried a few drinks. Sean went and played some arcade games and claw machines, racked up a ton of Pokemon, and then Bowie just danced the night away, or I should say the afternoon, because it was like midday, on the dance floor having a blast with the EDM music that Robot DJ was pumping out. So I would definitely say it's really cool to check out. We went, I think it was around lunchtime. It wasn't super packed in there, so that was cool. I imagine it probably gets a little bit busier at night, because that's kind of when Shinjuku really opens up. I shouldn't say Shinjuku. Kobukicho really opens up the lights and everything like that, so it's probably more busy at night. So if you just want to chill and play some games, have a drink, go midday. It's probably your best bet. And then also, going back to the Godzilla statue, told you I'd come back to this. It is on the 8th floor of the Hotel Gracie, and generally speaking, to go out on the patio to see the statue up close, you have to be a hotel guest or a paying patron. Luckily for you, there is a cafe right next to the door. They're kind of pricey. It's a hotel bar after all. You can get a drink, like an alcoholic beverage there, or you can do like we did, go kind of first thing in the morning, get a coffee. It's 1,000 yen. It's kind of an expensive coffee, but you get to take your whole family out there, get pictures with Godzilla, and you don't have to feel guilty. Because one time when we went, I didn't know about that rule, and we just kind of walked out there. No one stopped us. We walked out there, took our pictures and stuff like that. But then I noticed the sign when we came back in, and I was like, shit. So my next trip there, I made sure to buy a coffee just so I was following the rules. It was my bad on that one. But yeah, if you get there first thing in the morning, which kind of if you're like sightseeing for a lot of that stuff, I would say hit it up in the morning, especially if you got family. It gets really busy at night. I don't think I would take my family to Kobokicho at night. Again, it's kind of a red light district. Some seedy people can be out there at night too. But, if you want to see the Godzilla statue, if you want to check out the arcades, going like during the day is a great time to take your family and see the Godzilla statue, get yourself a coffee, go out there, take a bunch of pictures with it. It's a lot of fun. So, but like I said, Kobukicho is what most people think of when they think of Shinjuku, but there are other things to do in Shinjuku. For one, if you want a great view of not just Shinjuku, but Tokyo as a whole, and you might even get to see Mount Fuji in the distance if it is a clear day. I recommend going to the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. Here you're going to get a 360 view of the entire city. It is breathtaking and just it's almost surreal because Tokyo is a metropolitan. It's basically a megalopolis and it is just massive. But you don't even know the scope and scale of that city until you're in the government building looking down on it. It almost looks like one of those dystopian future where like the entire world is covered in city, or like Coruscant from Star Wars, kind of thing like that. It is insane when you actually see it from above like that. And just really, really cool. And the best part about it is free. You just go to the building. You kind of walk in. There's a special entrance for people who want to go to the top. You kind of walk in. They put you in an elevator. Takes you right to the top. And it is so cool. There's also a little cafe up there if you, again, want to get a drink. I don't think they serve alcohol there. I think it's like a legit just coffee cafe. We'd already been to the main area, Shinjuku, and, had our coffees, had our lunch cocktails and things like that. So I think we bought a water there. That was it. So we didn't really partake in there. And also, kind of a cool little gift shop. My wife and I got some souvenirs there for family and friends. And for being like in a location like that where it's just like it's the only shop there, they can charge whatever they want. The prices were pretty reasonable. There was nothing there that I looked at as like, I'm not buying that for so and so. It's too expensive. So it is definitely like a cool place to go. You get to see the entire city. Plus, you can pick up some souvenirs while you're there. And they're all themed around Japan, and they're not corny. They're actually they're all very pretty tasteful, kind of thing like that. So definitely a cool place to stop. And then also another place we stopped on our last trip was the Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden. It is a breathtaking, stunning nature walk through this large park with many ponds scattered throughout it, where you can just kind of sit and relax and take in nature, people watch, get some great views of the park. And what's really cool is like you see all these trees and it's very peaceful nature, but then you can see the skyscrapers looming overhead, and it's just a cool juxtaposition of nature and man-made structures. It's quite the sight to see. But if you're not looking up in the sky, if you're just kind of looking eye level, all you see are trees and gardens and grass and ponds. And lots of crows. The crows know people are there. They know people bring snacks, and the crows will come and bug you, and they're super friendly. And I love crows. Crows and ravens, I think, are some of the coolest birds. So having them basically come up and like eat something out of the palm of my hand was pretty funny and pretty cool for me. So what we kind of did for when we went to this trip to the park, we walked from the government building to the park, and it's a few blocks. I can't really remember exactly. Let's say 4 or 5 blocks. It wasn't a huge walk because we walked with it with our toddler. Generally speaking, any parent there, if you have small children, a walk can be super long, or not even that long if you have a toddler, because they will just complain the entire way. But we didn't complain, so couldn't have been that long on the walk. And what we did was we stopped by a 7-Eleven on the way, got a few drinks, got some snackies, and we just kind of had a picnic out in the park and just kind of relaxed, and just because it was one of our last days in Tokyo, so we just kind of relaxed, took it all in, kind of reminisced about our trip, looked through some pictures, took some more pictures, kind of thing like that. And it was just a really cool, chill place to relax. So there are places of nature you can see in Tokyo. You don't have to venture out too far if your trip is just Tokyo and you don't want to take the trains to the outskirts of the city. So definitely check out the park. And then lastly, again, this is just about Shinjuku, not about Tokyo. What kind of gaming channel would I be if I didn't talk about games in more detail for the end of this video? So I told you about a couple gaming spots. You got the Geigo Arcade, which is formerly known as the Sega Arcade. Tons of arcade machines to play, UFO games, just a blast. There's Namco Tokyo, which is just an insane amalgamation of different things. Definitely worth checking out and playing some games there. But what if you want to buy games? Well, you're in luck. You have Yodobashi stores all throughout Shinjuku, not just like in Tokyo. I think because when I looked up, because I know there's the one right outside Kobokicho that I normally go to if I want to stop by Yodobashi if I'm in Shinjuku. But there's like 3 different ones in Shinjuku, and they're all massive. They're generally like 8 to 10 stories tall, and they usually have an entire floor dedicated to video games. Sometimes it's video games and toys, depending on the spot. But a lot of times you'll see just this entire floor dedicated to video games. In fact, some of the stores have almost like a mini Nintendo store within it. Like it's not actually a Nintendo store, but they have so much space dedicated to like the Switch and Nintendo plushes, toys, amiibos, that it looks like a mini Nintendo store there. And then you'll have a big Sony section, and then you have a little bitty Xbox section, which is very sad to see. I don't know why I didn't take a picture last time I was there. It was sad. Like, man, the Xbox section was maybe like 2 feet by 4 feet tall. It had like 2 systems and like 15 games. It was the saddest thing I'd ever seen. But you can go there, and I recommend going to a Yodobashi or a Bit Camera while you're in Tokyo. Maybe not to buy anything if there's nothing you want to buy, but just to see it, just to see how massive these department stores are, and stop off on floors like appliance floors and just random floors that you would definitely not be buying anything in, but just to see it. It's just really cool kind of thing. But yeah, they're massive stores, and they'll have a huge video game section if you're looking for like newer games. And just remember, modern games are not region locked, so if it's got English subtitles or menus on there, you can buy a game there, probably get it cheaper, and then play it on your American system. And of course, that's new games. For secondhand games, unfortunately, there's no hard offs in Shinjuku, but they do have pretty nice book off. I went there last time I was there. I picked up, what'd I get? I got Chrono Trigger. I got a couple Gundam games for my Dreamcast and my Sega Saturn. And, I got WWE, Royal Rumble, Star Fox, and Street Fighter 2 for my SNES. So just kind of a really cool place to go. The book offs are kind of hit or miss when it comes to retro games. Some of them will have a lot. Some of them will have a little. Hard off is definitely what you want to check out for that kind of thing. But like I said, unfortunately, there's not one in Shinjuku. And then more for tabletop gaming and Gundam building, you have Yellow Submarine. It's kind of one of those board gaming stores. It's a chain in Japan. They've got a ton in the Tokyo area, and it's just really cool. You can, if you're like into like D&D or Warhammer 40K, they got you covered for that. If you're into like other board games like Catan, House on Haunted Hill, they've got a ton of those board games, probably in Japanese. So unless you want like just a unique Japanese version of a game, probably wouldn't recommend buying a board game there. But I haven't bought a game from there, so I don't know for a fact if they're in Japanese or English or not. So worth checking out anyways. And then they've got a slew of Gundam models there, so you can also get your Gundam fix while you're in Shinjuku. So that kind of wraps things up about Shinjuku. I hope it was informative. I hope I was entertaining for you all. But yeah, it's definitely one of the coolest places to check out in Tokyo. Kobokicho, like I said, is the most famous because that has the most of the touristy stuff there. But there's other things to do. The government building gives you great views. The park is a lovely place to relax and have a picnic. And then, of course, do your urban exploring. Find some really cool things that you like in Shinjuku, and you will be surprised if you just kind of walk around. Just wander aimlessly, kind of thing like that, because you'll always have Google Maps to get you back where you need to, and you'll find some cool stuff. You'll find some cool restaurants. You'll find some cool places to grab a drink or have a snack. It's a great time to be had. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. We've got a few more Japan videos coming in this quarter, and then after my trip to Japan, we're gonna have some more videos talking about some new places like Osaka, Kyoto, Kobe, Nara, things like that, because that's where I'm going on this next trip. And we'll also be making videos while we're in Japan We'll be doing some IRL streams, as well as I just picked up the Pixel tablet to edit videos while I'm in Japan. So I'm going to be playing with that leading up to the trip. So I will be posting new videos on the channel while I'm in Japan too, not just a bunch of things that I'll film before leaving just to keep stuff uploading, but we'll have new videos coming up there. So anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye now.